Trouble getting my paperwork in
Friends,
order.
you can do
Go
that.
Power
Parking out
Rangers!
here doing dumb shit.
Alright, Mr. DA, are you ready?
Yes, Shane's coming back in as well.
You said you were going to be taking over for
This
the
is why I
beginning.
don't get the aisle seat
Okay,
on
all
the
right,
2 flights I've ever been on in my life.
Let's go then.
Alright,
I
Mr.
don't get it
Steele, are you
either.
ready?
Yes, Your Honor, we are ready.
Alright, Mr. DA, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Then, Mr. DA, would you be so kind as to read off the charges?
Absolutely. Let me bring them up on my tablet here.
That's his lawyer. Looks like he spent more time on his hair than the case. They all wear the same face. Not that guy. That guy's
All
different.
right, Your Honor, case 00001-2016. The district attorney is filing charges of CA 16.02F, obstruction of justice, PCE 16.01F, resisting arrest, PCE 16.03F, fleeing and eluding, times 2, so there's 2 charges there, the same. PCE 16.05F, failure to identify. RTA 16.03F, taking a vehicle without owner's consent. CJA 1619M, destruction of property. PCE 16.06M, disobeying an order from an LEO. RTA 16.07M, driving under the influence of drugs. PCE 16.03M, fleeing and eluding misdemeanor.
Okay, and that would be all the charges?
Correct, Your Honor.
Alright, thank you. Mr. Steele, how does your client plead to count 1 obstruction of justice?
Someone's loud.
Not guilty.
Not guilty, okay.
Brandon, I think that might be you, sir.
I got you, not guilty.
I'm not sure.
I'm writing all this down, so give me a moment. Alright, count 2, resisting arrest. How does your client plead?
Rob. Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Holy shit,
Not
Rob. What do you mean?
Oh, I got you, not guilty. Okay, count 3.
Not guilty.
You're not guilty on all of them?
Right, count 4, also fleeing and eluding.
Not guilty.
Okay. Count 5, failure to identify.
Not guilty.
Count 6, taking a vehicle without owner's consent.
Not guilty.
Okay. Count 7, destruction of property.
Not guilty.
Okay. Count 8, disobeying an order from an LEO.
Not guilty.
Count 9, driving under the influence.
Not guilty.
Right, and finally, count 10, fleeing and eluding.
Not guilty.
God.
Okay, thank you. Mr. DA, would you like to, or Mr. Shane, you're back. Would you like to begin with an opening statement for the prosecution?
Yes, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Honor, this is a simple case of an individual who doesn't respect the law. What you will hear today is a story of an individual who stole police property, stole taxpayers' property, disregarded the safety of himself, the officers around him, and the general public, and then continued to show his disrespect for the law during processing and up until the point where we're here today. You'll hear a story of car chases, of destroying cars, of demanding that he get bail money back in exchange for identifying himself. This is someone who thinks that he's above the law and he thinks that he doesn't have to play by the rules that we as a society have agreed upon. Now, the defense will have you think that we have it wrong. They will have you think that either he wasn't there or it wasn't him, but that's not true. Because we are going to call Deputy Burnside, who not only has arrested him in the past, but has had interactions with him, such as buying a car from him and just seeing him around the island. That alone is enough to show that the person who put him here, the person who he disrespected, is someone that knew him on a first name basis and someone that could identify him just by the sound of his voice. Now, if there's somebody else on this island who sounds like him and who is the actual perpetrator here, then the defense is free to give that name up and present that name. And I'm sure that the DA's office and the detectives with the sheriff's department would have no problem investigating that. It is our goal here to bring the correct individual to justice, and that individual is Mark White. That's all.
All right, thank you. Mr. Steels, would you like to go ahead with an opening statement for the defense?
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen, Your Honor, we are here not for some other individual. We are here for Mr. Mark White. The prosecution didn't even prove.
I know, did they, right?
We're not denying that there was a crime made, but that crime was not being committed by my client here, Mark White, and we can prove it. You will see in the videotapes, but body cams that Officer Burnside provided, both of the officers were behind the suspect that was there. They never established the true identity of the suspect. The finger scan was never done. Plus, can you see? This is Mark White right here. This is my client, and look at his tattoos on his hands. They're all over the hands. And in the video, when that person was stripped down, patted down, that person did not have tattoos, and I don't see any scars here. Like these tattoos are not fresh; these are old tattoos. So that would be all.
That's pretty good evidence right there.
Mr. Vi, which do you plan on presenting first? Do you plan on having your witness step up or using your video?
Your Honor, we call Carl Bernstein to this. Wow, Birdside to the stand.
All right,
Burnside.
bailiff, you
Did I
please
screw that up
swear him
again?
in.
Yes, you said bird sign.
Yep.
Go ahead and step up, Mr. Burnside.
Good thing I'm not questioning you, right?
Yeah, over there.
Where'd you like me to stand? So you're fine.
To my left, if you'd be so kind.
Okay.
It's crazy, dude.
Up here.
And Your Honor,
That would be fine.
Your Honor, it'll be important to note that if my understanding is correct, Mr. Kinney is going to be using the video in conjunction with Mr. Bernstein's testimony.
That would be fine.
Burnside.
Okay.
Oh God, who let him in here?
So I would at this time like to admit that body cam into evidence.
Okay, that's fine. Before we do that, I want to go ahead and get the swearing in of the witness done before we continue. Mr. Bailiff, would you be so kind as to swear in Burnside here?
Alright, just tell the truth, nothing but truth, so help me God.
So what?
I do.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Kinney.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Burnside, how are you today?
I'm doing okay.
Can you please state your full name and your rank and position with the Sheriff's Department?
Carl Michael Burnside. I am a FTO and deputy at the Erie County Sheriff's Department.
Okay, what is it? What does FTO stand for?
Field Training Officer.
Okay, so you're up there in rank a little bit. You know how to train people and all that stuff, correct?
Correct. At the time of the event, I was not and FTO. I was just a deputy.
Okay, how long have you been with the sheriff's department?
It's been about a month now.
So quite a
Since
while.
I graduated.
There's actually
been through
cop
quite a bit of
sirens
training then?
outside.
Yes.
Okay, can you just talk to me about what happened the night of the arrest of Mr. White over here? Just start from the beginning. And I'll ask you questions throughout, so forgive me if I interrupt. I'm not trying to be rude.
Okay. So I was headed back towards Union from Dartmouth. I was on the highway between Dartmouth and Huntington Heights. And I was
You were
waiting at
on
the red
patrol
light.
at this point?
Yes.
And you were in a marked vehicle?
Yes.
Okay, continue.
I believe it was a Crown Vic at the time.
Okay.
And I heard an alarm. I heard an alarm from that intersection. So I went code 2 or code 3, I don't remember at the time. And I went towards Union. And I took a right at the Waffle House, took a left, and I saw what was a marked Crown Vic.
What kind of alarm did you hear that prompted you to go?
It was a car alarm.
And how did you know it was a car alarm?
I mean, that's what car alarms sound like.
You've
I don't
heard
really
them
know how to
before,
explain
correct?
that. Yes, I have.
Okay.
What?
And
Man.
I knew I was the only one on duty at the time. Wolf was actually over at the DFW, so I knew it was not him. He was riding
Wolf,
with me
is
at the
that another
time.
deputy?
Yes, that is another deputy. He's not here at the moment.
Okay.
Andrew Wolf.
Officer Andrew Wolf is his full name.
Okay.
And I knew it wasn't him, and I knew there was no other officers on duty. So I knew it had to be a civilian. And so I went into pursuit with him. We headed north out of Union.
With him, you're saying
The suspect.
It's a court trial, man.
What it was?
Hi.
Can you describe the police car to me that you saw?
It was it had a light bar, I believe, and a push bar. It was marked with our symbol on the side.
What kind of car was it?
I believe it was a Crown Vic.
Okay. Okay, continue. So you're 100% certain it was a police car. Your buddy was up at the DFW headquarters, not anywhere near you. And
Yes.
Oh my
It was
God.
10-6 with some paperwork. 10-6 is busy. Sorry about that.
Okay.
And
I
had left him
came
there.
strawberry jam.
At the time, he was still a special deputy, so he didn't have permission to patrol alone.
What?
And
What?
Okay, so I'm going to stop you for just a second, Mr. Burnside,
Okay.
and we're going to refer to the video. Your Honor, we're just going to start the video from the beginning, just to
Okay.
kind of corroborate the testimony going on here.
Let me know if you do. You need me to start it?
I might hold on. Yeah, I do.
All right, I'm just gonna switch you to the owner for now.
Okay.
You should be able to start it now.
Mr. Burnside, feel free to walk us through what you got going on here.
I'm not seeing the video if you're talking to me about that.
Okay, hold on. Let me make sure you got that. Check your tablet here. I'll send you a link.
Check your tablet.
Mr. Steels, if your client wants to be following along, feel free to give him a link on his tablet as well.
Oh yeah.
What happened?
Just let me know when you're ready, Mr. White.
Bailiff, there is just a bit too much movement going on in this courtroom for my pleasure. This is a little too wild. If we could just stay still, everyone.
Well, I mean, stay still unless you have to move to eat or drink. Friendly reminder.
Unless
Mr.
you
White,
won't
do you
die.
have the video?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. White? I mean, Mr.
Yes,
Burnside, I'm sorry.
Yes, I
They
do.
just read off his
we're at 38 seconds into the video.
charges.
So we're going to go ahead and play it from here. Just talk us through what's going on. And then I'll stop you when we're ready to move on. Okay?
Okay. Okay, now I'm pulling into Union, and this is where I take the right, and then I'll look left, and I see the cruiser down the road there, and he runs that stop sign there, and proceeds to
See, I'm friends with
heads north.
the DA over there, Shane, but I'm better friends over here with the defendant,
got
Mark.
At this point, you've already determined.
Mark
I know that
owns the
audio
Rolling
is kind of
Doobies.
chopped on this. It comes back in.
And he's a partial owner
here
of
shortly,
Strange
Your Honor.
Coffee, I think.
At this
Or
point, you've
the
already established
Night
that
Owl.
this vehicle was stolen because your partner is up at the DFW headquarters north of Dartmouth, and there's a cruiser flying
Dude,
around
he
town.
had 10 charges.
That's
I
correct.
couldn't
At
even
some
name them
point,
off to you if I wanted to.
In this general
So-
time frame, I say over the radio something like, "Is this anyone in this cruiser?" or something like that, and I get no response.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and keep playing here.
Your Honor, can I interrupt here for a moment?
Yes. Go ahead.
Could I have a sidebar with yourself and Mr. Steels?
sobered
What
up.
purpose?
To possibly speed this trial up.
Okay.
Mike, could you come over here for a second?
Mr. Steels, could you please approach?
They doing now? No, this isn't anything for band. This is all role play. It's like watching a TV show. It's like you're not gonna, put somebody in jail just to, fire them from the show, No, this is all role play. So he did all this stuff like drinking and driving and not obeying an LEO and all this other stuff. And so now he had a court date set and he went to trial over it. That's what's going on. A lot of people showed up though. I like how Rob's just looking. Dallas and Bridget, huh? He's gonna get voted off the island. God, Eddie should set up like a Survivor kind of TV show.
Yeah. Take a minute to confer with your client.
Huh? Yes.
Did you say chocolate?
Yes, sir. With or without nuts.
Chocolate?
Yeah.
Chocolate! Chocolate!
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh my God, we're trying to have a court case in here, and this guy's talking on Skype.
I think that's the medic.
Okay. Thank you. Let's continue.
Yeah, it does.
Apologize, Mr. Kinney. You ready to
I
continue?
dance with it.
You might need to give
one
someone a
second.
minute outside
Yep,
to finish the medical
ready.
treatment. I don't know.
I think we're good to continue.
Yeah, Mr. Burnside, are you okay?
Yes.
Yeah, let's go outside.
Okay, so we're just going to continue rolling through this video here. We've already established that this is Carl Burnside's dash cam video.
It's Mandy.
And that the patrol car in front of
And
him is
then
stolen.
you'll notice here that I don't get a response because I'm the only officer. We turn towards the sandmine
And a boop. And a boop.
makes a couple of
And a
turns.
boop.
and at one
Well,
point, I
hey
end
there,
up T-boning
feller.
him, and we get flung into some trees or something. And
Okay. Let's not get in
the
front of the video here just yet.
okay. I believe it's after this U-turn is when I managed to hit him. Once he's headed back into the grass. Yeah. And then we hit a couple of trees. He gets out, and
Okay, so I'm going to
the
stop the video here for
cruiser.
just a second here. Okay, so at this point, we just had a collision. I'm assuming the collision was an attempt to stop the vehicle according to your
Yes.
SOP, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, were you injured during this collision?
I'm going to say yes, but personally, it was so long ago I don't remember.
Not to the point of extreme
Not
medical
to the point
treatment,
of,
though,
no.
Okay, and your vehicle was damaged during this collision?
That is correct.
And the other vehicle was damaged during this collision?
The other vehicle exploded. Yes.
Okay.
Damn.
Your Honor, let it be known that we've just established the destruction of property charge.
Noted.
We'll continue on. So at this point, you guys are both out of your vehicles, and the suspect is fleeing on foot. Can you describe what he was wearing at this point?
He had a black wetsuit on and a green flame backpack.
So we're looking for a black wetsuit and a green flame backpack. Okay. Your Honor, make it known as well that the disobeying an order from an LEO. Part 1 of this is the lights and sirens behind the vehicle and him failing to stop for said vehicle, and we'll be adding more onto that as well. This
Wow.
also encompasses one of the first charges of fleeing and eluding. The fleeing on foot is the second charge. Felony.
All right, thank you.
Officer.
Okay, let's go back to the video here. We're going to let this play out just a minute. We'll get some of the important stuff in here, and then we're going to kind of skip forward just a little bit.
Okay. From this point, I begin the fatal chase. He runs like into some bushes, and I felt like he was going to pull a gun on me or something, but he didn't. He just kept running. And that's why I stopped for a moment and aimed down my sights.
Ooh.
Okay. At this point,
Alright,
he's used deadly force on you with the car, so that's why you had your weapon out. We can establish that. That's okay.
And I was unaware if he was armed or not, so...
I'm going to skip forward, just kind of skip through this chase.
I wonder where they're watching this. Like, it's not on that up there, so I wonder if they're just like on a rabbit or something watching it.
And at this point, I'm speaking with Scotty Banks. He's actually my neighbor.
So you know this guy?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and you were able to identify him. He's the only other one in the area right now that you know of, and he was not.
That is correct.
Okay.
Come on, we need some Judge Judy shit here.
And
okay, so at this point, we've identified him, and you are okay with letting this guy go because he's not the suspect, right?
Oh,
I can't hear you over the video.
I'm sorry. At this point, you've identified this guy. He doesn't fit.
That is correct.
Yeah, they did ties in.
The suspect here, right?
That's correct.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and skip forward a little bit more here until we get back to Union. Your Honor, we're going to establish that Mr. Burnside, if this is okay, got back to Union City and spotted another vehicle with a person that matches that identity in Union City.
Okay.
That
And
background sound, though.
whenever I had fixed up my vehicle to head back to Union City, that's when I called for backup.
Fuck, he's seen us
And
run.
Wolf had actually came back on duty, and he helped me
Okay.
out.
At this point, you see a black Crown Vic. Nothing unusual here.
Don't forget to turn on your lights.
We hear you call for the check.
Yep. And then I noticed he had a wetsuit on through the windows.
Okay. So reasonable suspicion that he might be involved. He's got a wetsuit on.
Lend me your wayfarers.
Now, at this point, this is your first verbal interaction with this guy, correct?
That is correct.
Wayfarers.
When you spoke to him and he spoke back to you, who did you think you were talking to?
I was pretty sure it was Mark White.
Okay, pretty sure how?
I mean, he'd only said like 3 words, but I could recognize his voice easily.
Okay.
Objection, Your Honor.
What grounds?
Speculation.
I'm getting through this,
That's
Your
why I
Honor.
bought a shitty suit. for a
Overruled.
shitty
I'll
event
let the
like this.
counselor continue.
Okay, so Mr. Burnside, you've talked to him. He's talked back. You think it's Mark White. Explain to me the previous experiences you've had with Mark White.
Okay, well, about a month before this incident or so, Mark White had held a raffle for rolling doobies for 3 different vehicles. On the second day, there was 3 vehicles, and they did raffles on 3 separate days. On the second day, I entered the raffle, and I won a dark green Super B. And
Nice.
Okay, so you actually interacted with him personally when you won this vehicle.
that is correct. I had to get it from him and get
Show
the
your
license and
ass.
registration.
Hey, Reggie.
Okay.
Sorry, not the
Can I
license,
make it,
but the
uh,
registration transferred over to me.
I'd like to make a note of circumstance as well that Mark White does own Roland Doobies, and he is parked in front of Roland Doobies at the moment. So just a note of circumstance for the court.
Noted.
Can I have some water? Oh,
Okay,
wait,
we're gonna
no, no,
continue
no.
on with the video here.
Have some food. I got water.
Robert, keep it down, please.
Okay, so Your Honor, what you'll see here is he questions him a little bit and he takes off. The video and audio don't match up
I've never
quite
told anyone
right,
that's my real
but
name.
we can keep going here. I just want to make note of that. We're going to skip
And
this forward just a minute here.
right there, I struggled a little bit to catch up, but we managed to catch up to him. And
Oh, Reggie, you left your lights on, mate.
I'll go take care of that, guys.
we ended up stopping him on the bridge. He crashed into the side, and then he threatened to jump off of the side of the bridge.
I'm going to back this up just a minute so we can see the initial stop here.
Okay.
Here we go. All right, Your Honor, this is very important as well. As they come up on the bridge for the DWI, you can see that he's smoking marijuana as we come over the bridge, so I want to make that noticeable.
Okay, you seem to have rewound the video.
I did. I'm sorry. Just backed it up just before he took off.
Okay.
Good day, sir.
Here's the marijuana smoke coming out of his car.
Okay.
And he got tased by Wolf because he was threatening to jump. And we had him restrained right there.
Okay, can you describe to me what he's wearing in this video right now?
He's got a black wetsuit on and a green flame backpack.
Same green flame backpack that you saw in the initial foot chase, correct?
Earlier, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Ralph, I got it.
Now, as you go through this arrest, when you guys towed his vehicle, hang on a minute. So, Your Honor, let's make note as well that this is one of the many times that Mr. White attempts to, or let me say, the suspect attempts to deceive. He was literally just 5 seconds ago in a vehicle pursuit and crashed his vehicle, and now he doesn't have a clue what we're talking about. So, we're going to go ahead if we can. Mr. Burnside has some other engagements that he has to go to. Everything from this point forward, there's nothing really relevant to the case until we get over to the actual detention facility, if that's okay, if we can skip forward to that.
Where is Mr. Steele?
I'm here.
He's in the chair there.
See, I cannot see him.
He's lying down. The chair had some thumbtacks in it.
I see.
He looked like he got hurt.
Understandable. I thought he had disappeared. All right, continue, Mr. Kinney. I apologize.
Okay, we're going to skip forward to when they get Mr. White. Just make note that they do call the city impound for this vehicle here. The city impound stated the registration on this vehicle came back to who, Mr. Burnside?
Mark White.
Okay, just want to make note of that. Okay, we're going to push forward until they're pulling into the detention center here.
Okay.
At this point, Mark White is actually in the front of the cruiser because we're having some issues on the bridge. So.
Okay, so you're fairly close to him at this point.
That is correct. He does have a gas mask on at that point, though, I believe.
Okay, noted. Okay, so just, Your Honor, make note of this again. Here's a better, clearer picture of the clothing that he's wearing.
Okay, noted.
And he refuses to answer for several minutes, I believe. And once we get him into the circle, pretty sure it's when we strip search him is when he's able to talk again.
Okay. So, Mr. Burnside, right now you're fixing to conduct a search of the suspect, correct? And this is incident to the arrest, correct?
Sorry, what was that last part?
This search is incident to the arrest?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Your Honor, I want to make note here. This is very, very important because later on in the video, Mr. White states that he doesn't have any pockets. Right now, Mr. White has a backpack on. Mr. Burnside, you've got an ID here in your hand in this video. Where'd you get that ID from?
One of the pockets in his bag.
One of the pockets in his bag. And you're
That's
sure
correct.
of that?
Yes.
Okay, what's the ID say right there on the top?
Mark White.
Okay, we're going to continue.
And then he doesn't answer, and so I go put some gloves on, and then I strip search him. Excuse the language.
That's all right. Okay, at this point he says, hello, can you hear me? Do you still believe that you're talking to Mark White, or do you think it's somebody else?
I do believe it is Mark White.
And you believe that because you've ID'd him, you've heard him speak before, you've talked to him before, all of this, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I want to make note of another attempt to deceive here. We've identified that this is Mark White by his ID, by the vehicle from the city tow, and he says ammo's too expensive. It's common knowledge that Mark White is a very wealthy man from being the owner of Roland Doobies. Okay, Your Honor, make note here. We do not see any tattoos here. The defense is going to bring up the statement that there's no tattoos on Mr. White, blah, blah, blah. My defense to this, Your Honor, is that anybody can take concealer makeup and put it on their arms and do whatever, or cover their arms, or do anything to conceal a tattoo. Anybody, this trial from arrest to trial has been almost 2 weeks. Mr. White has had time, plenty of time, in between the multiple arrests to get new tattoos and have them healed. So just want to make note of that to the court as well.
Noted.
Also, would like to make note here that Mr. White is found with 2 marijuana on him, further affirming the DWI charge on the bridge where he was trying to smoke, or where he did smoke marijuana, indicated by the green smoke coming out of the side of his car.
See, there is where you see Mr. Wolf over to the left side, and you saw his face when he was picking his things up.
Okay. Another instance of failing to obey an order from an LEO.
Mr. Kenny, do you plan on making the court watch the entire video?
No, we're getting to a couple more important parts, and then we'll be done with the video, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, I just didn't want to skip any parts here, because it's very important.
At that point, we were discussing how to fill out the paperwork.
Yeah, no big deal there. I'm Your Honor, make note that the officer said, "Mr. White, do you need any food or water?" And he answers without any hesitation. And then he says, "How do you know my name?" Did you hear that, Your Honor?
I did.
Your Honor?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure you heard that. One more part here. I'm going to skip through some of this stuff here. It's just jibber jabber.
Okay.
I'm just going to skip through here. He's already paid his bond at this point and is asked to be taken back to his vehicle for some reason. Again, the officer says mark and no objection. And again, he says, "I don't know how you guys knew it was me." And at this point, Your Honor, this is about all I need with the video. Is there anything else you'd like to point out, Mr. Burnside?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, so you've established that that's Mark White. That's the guy that was in the chase with you, crashed up the cars, fled from you by vehicle, fled from you on foot, fled from you by vehicle again, smoking marijuana while he was driving.
It was that Friday night. It took us 3
disobeying
hours to
orders
figure
from
out if
you,
Mark White was
all
Mark
of these
White.
things, obstruction of justice by trying to tell you a wrong name, and all of this stuff, resisting arrest for trying to jump off the bridge, all of this stuff.
Yes.
This is all correct to your knowledge?
Correct.
Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Steels, would you like to cross-examine the witness?
Yes. Deputy Burnside, you say that you took the ID from that person from the video. Is that correct?
That's correct.
How do you know it's valid ID? Because I've seen a lot of people with fake IDs.
Yeah, that is correct. A lot of people do have fake IDs, but we do have like a little scanner thing that we can check through the government.
That's correct.
And
thank you. Scanner. Did you do the scanner of my of that person there?
No, we couldn't get him to place his hand on the scanner.
What training and certification in identification of subjects do you have, Deputy Burnside?
Can you repeat the question?
What training and certification in identification of subjects do you have?
I'm not quite sure that I understand the question.
Thank you. What training and certification do you have in identifying fake IDs?
I mean, they look a little bit different, but otherwise we don't get trained much in identifying that.
Okay, thank you. The man that you patted down, did that man
Objection,
have
Your Honor.
tattoos?
What grounds?
I'd like to make note that if the if Mr. White's attorney is standing over here saying that Mr. White had a fake ID, we'd like to add that charge as well.
Was that an objection, Mr. Kenny, or was that
It's
a
a statement,
statement
Your
where
Honor.
you'd like to add? Okay.
A statement.
Well, then next time we say objection, Your Honor, let's keep that to objections. However, I will take your statement into consideration whenever your statement into consideration whenever I go over everything else. Thank you. Please continue,
Thank
Mr.
you,
Steels.
Your Honor.
Officer Burnside, the person that you patted down in the video, did that person have tattoos?
No, he did not. But as stated before,
Is this here, Mr. Mark White?
that is Mr. Mark White. Yes.
Does this man have tattoos, big ones, on his?
At the moment, yes. Recently, I've seen him with the tattoos, but
okay, thank you, Your Honor.
can I finish my
We
statement?
also, you answered. Thank you, Your Honor. We would like to bring also one more witness that will tell that.
Your Honor, we haven't established our case in chief yet.
You will get your chance, Mr. Steels, to present your witness.
Okay. So you, Officer Burnside, you're not sure the ID that you found was fake or not. You didn't establish that.
I am extremely positive that it was his.
Okay,
that it
then
was
it goes back to my previous question. What training and certification in identification of subjects do you have?
When we go through the academy, they teach us how to check for IDs, but
okay, you
it's
checked
not
the
extensive.
ID, and was the ID fake or not? How do you know?
It was not.
It was not.
That's correct.
How do you establish that?
How many times are you going to ask this
Officer
question?
Burnside, did you run a finger scan to establish
We
that
tried
that
to
person
force
was
him,
who
and he would
is?
not. He kept resisting, and he would not fingerprint scan.
So he doesn't resist stripping, but he resists in finger scan. How is that possible with two officers there?
Objection.
I
Relevance?
don't know, but he did.
It's very, Your Honor, it's very relevant because
I
police
understand,
department.
but you've asked this question in my mind at least 3 different times now. If you could continue to any more points you have, that would be great. I'm going to sustain the objection. Please continue.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Your Honor, brief redirect.
Thank you. That's fine. Go ahead.
Deputy, I'm only going to ask you a few questions, and then you're free to go.
Okay.
When you checked his licenses, the first license that you encountered, was that in the name of Mark White?
That is correct.
Was the second license that you uncovered in the name of Mark White?
Yes.
Was the third license that you read in the name of Mark White?
Yes. All the licenses that I reacquired, I believe I checked them twice, actually. Once when he was in the holding cell, and once before I strip searched him, and they all came back to Mark White.
So every single piece of paper that the subject had on him was in the name Mark White?
Yes.
No further questions.
Your Honor, redirect. Your Honor, redirect.
No, Mr.
Recross.
I actually have a question real quick. Unless anyone has an objection, the court does have a question for transparency. Any objections? Okay.
It depends what the question is.
Okay, Deputy Burnside, there are, would you say, SOPs in the department where you were employed around identifying a suspect?
I do believe so. I don't remember them at the moment, but
okay.
Yeah.
And you are an FTO?
That is correct.
Okay. Do you ever, in your job as an FTO, teach SOPs around the subject of identifying suspects?
I have not teached all of the modules, but I believe it is somewhere in Module 5, which is scene preservation and like detective work, basically.
Okay.
So I'm going to say yes.
All right. I appreciate that, Mr.
Your Honor,
Steele's.
quick note.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Kinney.
I'd like to make note that there was never a fake ID even presented here in evidence to cross-reference. So the court would have to assume that the identification that was found 3 or 4 times on Mr. White would be true to what Mr. White has.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kinney. Mr. Steeles, did you have something you wanted to?
Officer Burnside, is it hypothetically possible that all the licenses that you saw that were on Mark White, is it hypothetically possible?
Objection,
Yes.
objection, speculation.
Sustained.
It's not.
Well, speculation and, in this case, foundation of knowledge. There's been no evidence presented suggesting that they're all fake.
Again, sustained.
Your Honor, the prosecution asked for licenses, and I'm asking about licenses.
Yes, and I would agree that's what you were doing, but please keep it to a manner where you are not guessing things that are not in evidence.
Okay. Officer Burnside, is it possible that those licenses were fake?
I mean, there was, if I recall correctly, there was 15 to 20
Objection,
licenses.
Your Honor, asked and answered.
I'm going to overrule. Please answer, Deputy.
There was, if I remember correctly, 15 to 20 licenses registered to Mark White. I mean, the suspect would have to go miles out of his way to get that many licenses in Mark White's name.
Is it possible?
It is extremely possible, or not possible, sorry. Or, fuck. Oh, excuse me. It is possible, but it is extremely unlikely.
Thank you. No further questions.
Okay, thank you. Deputy Burnside, I appreciate you are free to leave.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr.
Carl, I
Vi?
want to talk to you some other time.
Okay.
Does the prosecution have any more witnesses or evidence they'd like to provide?
It's on you, Shane.
At this time, Your Honor, we have no further witnesses to call, and that concludes our case in chief.
Okay, Mr. Steeles, you had a witness?
The defense will call Heinrich Nielsen.
Okay, Mr. Nielsen, would you please approach the bench?
So
right,
thank you
Bailiff,
here.
would you please go grab him? I think he might be in the hospital.